On March 1st, a new TCG enters the realm, known as Metazoo. It's a TCG rooted in creatures, artifacts, and spells. You get creatures also known as beasties, such as Bigfoot, Mothman, and Jersey Devil. What sets Metazoo Cryptid Nation apart is its core mechanic of breaking the fourth wall, or meta.
What is happening, everyone? Mystic Fluffer here. In this video, I'll be discussing whether the new TCG Metazoo is a worthy investment compared to Pokemon. So Metazoo just got released in March, so a month plus it's been available on the market, on the shelves. And I just had a look at the eBay store listings for the booster boxes, and yes, there is a first edition stamp, much like Pokemon, much like Yu-Gi-Oh! And after looking at how much these first edition booster boxes of Metazoo sold for, I almost coughed up a lung looking at these prices. So on average, I saw prices vary from 2,400 to about 3,000 USD. And that's pretty insane, considering that if you look back on Pokemon, when it was released in the 90s, like booster boxes first editions were going for like maybe 100 USD dollars, perhaps even less than that. And I know times were a lot different back then to what it is now. And you realize that Metazoo is a new TCG. There hasn't been a lot of history with it. Not that I know of. I mean, I don't know everything about the Metazoo TCG, but it's nothing like Pokemon. Pokemon, you know, you've got to realize that it's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of items associated with it, products. You got plushies, you got toys, you got like board games, you got clothing, you got the cards. So there's a lot associated with it, and even the anime. And it's both in Japanese and English and other languages as well, so like German and Portuguese, Korean, Chinese. So it's come a long way. I know that, you know, initially it's probably been rough times and then gone through like different waves where it was popular with Pokemon and went down, but Metazoo has just been released this year, and you're asking for roughly about 3,000 USD dollars. It's quite a lot, even though it's a first edition stamp. There's no real proven history on this TCG, and I'm sure that there's been a lot of, because they timed it pretty well actually. In fact, if you think about it, Pokemon prices and other TCG prices went through the roofs like last year, and then now that's kind of like stable a bit, maybe dropped a bit. And then the release date to release it on this particular time it's pretty impeccable, to say the least. And so, you know, you asking for that is just insane. Like, who's gonna really pay that much? I mean, I'm sure there's people that are willing to pay for that much, but there's probably a lot of investors and a lot of flippers who are buying these up because they know that's a limited amount. And then they saw prices for first edition booster boxes of Pokemon went through the charts. Now they're like, Logan Paul bought some for like $300,000 plus, close to $400,000 USD. And so the scalpers and investors are thinking the same process will follow this pathway of Pokemon first edition booster boxes, or the base set ones. So I think that if you buy it for $3,000, perhaps maybe in 10 years time, 15 years, or maybe even earlier than that, maybe later than that, they'll reach up to $100,000 or $50,000, and that's when they'll flip them or sell them. So I think that's the principle they have in the back of their mind, where they think it's a worthy investment to sell it for that. Because if it wasn't an investment, then these will sell for like normal prices, where people just buy them like normally as they go to the stores. But because Pokemon has showed, you know, previous history of these prices selling just crazy amounts, even other ones like Dragon Ball Super and even Yu-Gi-Oh! They've seen first edition booster boxes sell just crazy amounts. So they think the same principle applies for Metazoo. That's why I think the scalpers are moving on to other things, because perhaps they think that Pokemon's out of reach, so they're just investing into these, but they're just hoping that the first edition stamp gives way to a higher return down the track. I mean, that's what I think. And now moving on to the artwork, I do think the artwork is nice. It's that very retro, throwback, old school, nostalgic TCG design artwork back in the 90s and even 80s. Like, I feel like the Metazoo is in between both Pokemon and Magic. It has that kind of feel, and it's kind of it has that kiddish feel to it as well. Like it's for all ages, I believe. And do I think it's a worthy investment? I don't think it's worth $3,000 for a booster box, to be honest. Like, I'd rather invest that into other Pokemon TCG products, whether it's modern or vintage. Like, if you were given $3,000, if I was given $3,000 to invest on whatever Metazoo versus Pokemon products, I'll definitely invest all my $3,000 or most of it, if not 90% of it, into Pokemon TCG products rather than Metazoo. I mean, Metazoo, it just needs that time to really grow. I mean, it could fail next year. Like, it could just lose like all the entire audience and the entire community. But if people enjoy the meta part of it, which is the playing part of it, who knows? Maybe it'll grow, and then if there's limited amounts, and it could follow a similar pathway to Pokemon. But just at this point in time, I don't think it really has the spark of the audience to really drive the popularity of Metazoo. I mean, down the track it could change, but who knows what really could happen. Like, people could shift from Pokemon or shift from other TCGs to Metazoo if it gains enough attention, and if there's enough hype, then prices will inflate, and then people will be into it more than where they were at this point in time. But guys, let me know in the comments below of what you think of Metazoo. Do you think it has potential to grow as an investment portfolio, or do you think it's a bit of a dud? I'd like to hear your comments below so I can have a read. I mean, I'm new to it as well with Metazoo, but I definitely have to stick side to Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon's got history, and there's definitely a big audience in the community as well. But guys, anyways, that's my time, and as always, keep safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you on the next one.